Hello beautiful people, my name is Bridget and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having an awesome day. In today's video we're going to talk about some new palettes in my collection. So I have a couple palettes here I want to talk about, things that are newer to me. Just give you my first thoughts, what I'm thinking so far, maybe do a swatch or two, and without any further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, before we get started, these are my personal opinions, my first experiences with these things. If we disagree, it's cool, it's just makeup, it's not that serious. And I didn't really know what else to film today. Like, I only got a couple suggestions, so like palettes are something everyone loves to talk about. I feel like it's really relaxing to hear about. And I've talked about some of these things before, but just in case you missed me talking about them, you missed my review, or I haven't reviewed some of these things, let's just go ahead and start talking about them. So the first thing I'll talk about is, yeah, it's the biggest disappointment. The Moroccan Spice palette from Fenty. This came in the Boxy Premium for March. This is what it looks like. I only used it once. It is so lackluster. Like, the mattes are okay, and then the shimmers, like, there's no base pigment to them. So the mattes look good and they perform okay, but like it's a lot of work to use. And then the glitters, they're just like average at best. They don't even put like a big pop of highlight on the eye. It's really underwhelming. Something about this palette, when you do a look, a lot of the looks look the same. You either did a cool tone, like a neutrally color, or you did a warm, because that's all you get the option to use in here. It's also a little bit hard to open, in the blue in here. It's so 2018, just a neutral palette with a pop of blue. If you take the blue away, it's very neutral, and I just don't see the appeal to it. The packaging on this is very fancy, luxurious, but it shows every single fingerprints on it, which is very annoying. And I do find it a little bit difficult to open as well. It was originally priced at $50 something when this first came out, but now the retail value is 20 something, and I can definitely see why, and it doesn't make me eager to try any other Fenty eyeshadow products, because this is just not it. But the packaging's lovely, you know, it's lovely. I probably won't ever use it again though. It's probably when I do a declutter, it's gone. Next up is a palette I did a full review on, so you can see my review of it. I'll leave it linked down below. The Sailor Moon palette from Colourpop. This is yet to be restocked, which is surprising. It's really, really pretty, and I liked the look I came out with it, but I just don't see when I would use this color scheme because it's so neutral. For being a pastel palette, I don't see like pastel powder blues or even a navy blue for the Sailor Moon outfits. For me, it's just so pastel and no real reason behind the color scheme. I feel like I would really want a brighter purple, a bright blue, a powder blue, like even a baby pinky shade, because the whole thing's like baby pink. And there's no baby pink in here, there's just these two. So honestly, it's weird. I don't like pressed glitters in here. Like, this one has a pressed glitter and it's very fragile. So I'm glad there's a yellow, but honestly, you bought it for the aesthetic, right? And the aesthetic is there. It's super, super pretty, and I liked the look I came out with it. The quality's fine. It works perfectly well. Just an odd color scheme overall. Like, I was really, really hyped about it, and then now I look at it and I'm like, I know what the look's gonna come out with at the end of the day, and without even like trying it. Also, the shimmers you definitely have to use your finger with, so if that's a problem for you, it's not a problem for me. You know, if it's a problem for you, you want to know that. Okay, let's do the other one I did a full review on. The Salt and Pepper collection from Milani. This is the Hot, Cool, and Vivacious palette. It is an eyeshadow and highlighter palette. It has a nice mirror on it. But this is the eyeshadow, and then it has a highlighter in the middle. For me, I feel like it looks different online than it looks in person. I don't know how it looks on camera, how it compares and looks on person. I don't know, it looks about the same. I felt like this was going to be lighter. It's not. For the highlighter, it couldn't be inner corner highlight. The shimmers in here are weird. Like, there's like a layer of stuff on the top, and then it comes out a different color. It looks a completely different color when you apply this to your eyes. The mattes are fine. They're okay. A couple of them are better than others. But for me, the shimmers are weird. There is only 3 shimmers in this palette, and then the highlighter, but it's probably for the best because the shimmers are weird. Like, they look so much darker on the eyes than they look in the pan, so you're really just gonna mess up your eye look if you can't tell what the color is gonna be until it's on your face. So whereas the concept's really cool, I'm glad to see a fun collection with like something fun behind it from Milani, but for me this is just not it. I don't know, the quality's not there, but it is super pretty, and I like that it's shaped like a CD. That kind of, it's everything. Ooh, all 3 of those are kind of like meh. Oh well. I feel like I haven't had too much good luck with stuff lately, but I'm not sure. Maybe everything good was like, holiday, buy all this good stuff as gifts, and then afterwards it's kind of like, here's stuff. Alright, here's one that I actually did enjoy though. So this is the Dito Shiny Sunshade palette. Shiny Sunshade. Yeah, palette. I enjoy the Eco Earth palette from them, so I tried this one as well. It kind of looks like a nude kind of palette from Huda a little bit, with a little bit more warmth to it. It looks like another palette. I just can't think of what palette it is. I like that there was air freshener. I like that there is a light matte shade, a yellowy shade, and then like there's only one glitter in here. The mattes in here are so pigmented. They perform so nicely. They blend so nicely. This is more of an affordable palette, and I really like the quality of it. For me, I thought maybe this would be kind of hard pan. Something about the indentions in it with all the waves and stuff made me feel like these wouldn't be that pigmented. They would be kind of hard, but honestly they're very soft. And a shimmer and a matte swatch for you. The shimmers are a little bit chunky, but they blend so nicely with your finger. And then the mattes as well. Well, I picked a cream matte, but you can probably still see it. Yeah, they perform really well. I quite enjoy the Depop palettes. They're very nice. And I like that they're small and compact. They sit really nicely against like Colourpop palettes. Alright, next palette is from the Pony Effect thing from Stylevana. It's a little quad that's like a dupe for a Charlotte Tilbury quad, which are super expensive, but this isn't. I quite enjoy this. I feel like this dark brown can get a little bit patchy, but I only use it on the very outer corner. It looks fine. The shimmers in here are really easy. I don't feel like they're the super most metallic, most wet looking shimmer in the world. They're very subtle, but it's honestly a cute little romantic palette. No complaints about it. It's very pretty. Like, I don't know when I'd reach for it, if I was traveling maybe, but I might also travel with the Tartelette and Bloom palette, so depends on how much room I have in my makeup bag, but I do enjoy it. I think it's very pretty, very elegant, and very small, which I like the small palettes, you know. All these have been small palettes so far. Alright, next up, only have 2 palettes left, and these are the 2 that I went out of my way to purchase, even though they weren't new launches. So, I wanted this since it launched, and I kept putting it off because I know I didn't need it. This is the UOMA Beauty Allure palettes. It's the Black Magic palette. There's 3 Black Magic palettes. This one is the Allure one. Look at this artwork. Like, everything. And on the inside, the color scheme with yellows and greens. This is just so beautiful. Now, I used this twice so far. It honestly doesn't even look like I used it. Like, the shadows are pretty hard pressed, so it doesn't really look like you made an indention in there. I'm not in love. Like, I bought it when it was on sale, so I don't feel as bad, but I'm not in love with it. The mattes are fine. The mattes perform, the whole bottom row is matte, and they perform nicely. This shade right here is a shimmer. It's Lady of Gold, but it's so subtle. And then we have, like, let's just do the green right here. These other ones, this one feels more like a soft shimmer, and the rest of them feel like a glitter, and they're kind of gritty in texture, which I don't like. So we have the regular one shimmer, which I guess could be an inner corner highlight, and then we have the gritty. It's just like, it's even hard to blend out. Like, I had to go over it and like push it. It looks so pretty. It's super metallic and stuff, but you see how the one shimmer is very subtle, and then this is just so gritty feeling. Like, the texture on this whole top row except for the one is not it. Like, these feel all gritty. This feels very subtle. So honestly, I really like the mattes in here. I feel like the purple's a little out of place. Maybe I would prefer like a really deep red to go with this one instead of the purple. And I also don't get the peach too much. Like, there's no shimmer that I would really want to use the peach with except for the light one, but it's very subtle. So for me, I love the color scheme, and that's why I picked it up and bought it, even though I'm late to the game with it. But these just feel so gritty. These feel so gritty. This one's so subtle that it's disappointing to me, and I really wanted to love it. Alright, lastly, I wanted this forever, right? I didn't even want it when it first came out. I was like, oh, it looks okay. And then everyone told me how beautiful and how amazing this palette was. So I saw a good deal on Poshmark and bought it. It's the Orb of Light palette, even though it's hard to read. Orb of Light palette by Black Moon Cosmetics. It's the full moon palette, which even though it's a half moon shape. Everyone told me this was so good. So I bought it. I'm wearing it on my eyes today, actually. It's what the eyeshadow I have on right now is. Except I don't have, there's all mattes, so I have a Super Shock on my lid for the shimmer. I don't use all matte palettes. I've come to learn that about myself. I love the concept of like, oh yeah, let's just buff some mattes of our crease and be done. I need a shimmer on my lid. It's so beautiful. Like, I used this shade, started off with, and then I added some of this shade right here to just make it more brown instead of just mustardy. And I feel like the eye look came out nice and subtle and cute. but it's all matte, and I wish this was a highlighter. But don't get me wrong, I love a matte cream shade to set my crease area and to set underneath my lid, so I mean to set my lid so like it doesn't crease on me, you know, underneath my brow bone. But I don't need a giant one like this. I wish this shade was this. Like switch these two and put this as a highlighter. We don't need the pinky shade in this palette at all. But I love this mustardy shade. Like I love this color scheme. The color scheme is beautiful. It's nice, it's grungy, but it's not too much. It's lovely. I haven't tested the black yet to see if the black is good quality, but everyone raves about this palette. And for me, when I'm doing an eye look, I like to use just one palette so it's easy for you to recreate if you like what you see on my eyeballs. But for this, I have to reach into something else because I need that little bit of shimmer on the lid, which is personal preference, not like this thing's fault. So let's swatch the two colors I used today. They're so pigmented. Like this mustardy shade is everything. That looks good. That looks so smooth. It's everything, but I just need the shimmer. I feel like that's why I probably won't reach for this palette that much, because I'll have to remember what palette I use in my eyes, what other things I use in my eyes to complete my eye look. But the color scheme's so pretty, and I'm gonna keep using it for a while and see if I love it that much, like the quality of the mattes that much, that I don't mind reaching into something else. Because honestly, the two colors that I used today, I really enjoy. And then buffing this mustardy shade on my lower lash line was so easy and it was so pigmented that I do enjoy this palette. But I do just wish this shade was put here, and then this was a highlighter, like a champagne-y shimmery shade. That would have made this palette perfect to me. But yeah, it's still very pretty. I do feel like the packaging's a little cheap. It just feels like a toy plastic. I would have even probably preferred this if it was more cardboard. So I don't know. That's just a preference on the packaging, but it is still very pretty. Anyways, you guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I think it's fun talking about palettes. Palettes they're fun, you know? Anyways, thank you guys so much. If you're not subscribed already, I greatly appreciate it if you did that. Stay safe, stay inside, and I'll see you later. Bye.